Hello and welcome to the video. This is a quick video to answer this question from a Patreon of mine called Andrew. So Andrew, this one is for you, and it was specifically around how the multiplex bits work inside the radio. Now, multiplexing is the way that you can add individual channel values together to create different outcomes, and you're typically going to use them in the mixer screen. Now, there are three by default, but before we get into the weeds, let me just show you what I'm talking about. So let's go into the model, zoom over to where it's talking in the mixer, and I've created three channels here. Let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see clearly exactly what I'm going on about. So here we have channels 6, 7 and 8. They are all combining the two rotary controls, S1 and S2, but the difference is, if I just go down here and I highlight the second channel of channel 6 and say edit, if I go down here, there's an option for the multiplex, and this is what we're talking about. The multiplex is the way that the two channels are going to be combined. The most common one is going to be add, but if I select it, I also have two more options, multiply and replace. So what add is going to do is going to add the two outputs. So it's going to add the outputs S1 and S2 together. We can see that. There's also the option to multiply, and that's going to multiply the results of the lines above it. So it's kind of like a multiplier, so you can times it by 2 or 3 or whatever. And you also have replace, which is one that can be used that when there's a value on that channel, it will replace the previous line. So this first one is add, but if I come out of here, so the way I've set this up is channel 6 is set so that S1 and S2 are added. Channel 7 is set with the multiplex to multiply, and channel 8 has S1 and S2 with the replace between the two. So it's very easy then for me to show you the difference between them. So let me just zoom out a little bit more, because what I'll do is let me just come out of this and then put the channel values on the screen so you can see exactly what is going on. So again, we're interested in channels 6, 7 and 8 here at the bottom. 6 is add, 7 is multiply, and 8 is replace. So let's just see what that does. So let's move S1, and we can see here that S1 channel 6 is going up. Channel 6, if you remember, is the one that adds them together. So I could put this rotary control here at the top of the radio, just out of shot, at a value, and then I can use the other control to either turn that down or turn that up. And you can see here that that's pretty easy. All you're doing is you're adding those two channels together, and whether I'm moving this channel here on the right or this channel here on the left, it's just adding the two channel values. So add is pretty easy to understand. Multiply is a little bit more funky. So if I move the first channel, S1, the channel doesn't move because the value is 0. And if you multiply 0 by anything, you still get 0. However, as soon as I move the second control, because it's multiplying, we get a value. And then the third one, which is replace, is going to replace the first part of the mix with the second if there is a value. So here we can see again, we'll move the rotary control, nothing really happens. However, if you move the second control, because that's replacing the value, you see it kind of tracks with the add at the top. So if I move that first rotary control, so there's a bit of value on channel 6, that's the one that's adding them, and then move that second one, we can see here that now we have potentially three different values. We have the addition, we have the multiplication, and we also have the replace. So that's how we use them. Do I really use them here? No, not really. I tend to just use the add, if anything. But the trick is I tend to have mixes either mixed all the time, or I have things, so for example, in a flying wing where you're mixing elevators and ailerons together, you would just use add. Or if I'm doing more funky stuff, then I would actually have things selected by an individual switch. But hopefully, Andrew, that actually answers it for you. There are different ways to do it. To be honest, you're only going to get into this stuff if you're getting into more advanced, sophisticated setups and mixes, where those kind of things are going to be the obvious answer to a problem that you've just found in the setup. Thank you for watching my video. Check out the playlist, and adding Pedantry 360 to your search terms will help you find my content. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. You can support the time I spend here answering questions and helping others by using the links in the video description.